Getting ready to, we are live. Hello, everyone. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here with us. If you are joining us live, write in the comment, please, hashtag live. If you're joining us for the replay, hashtag replay. And please tell us where you're from because it's so much fun for us to know where you're from. And so my guest today is Sharon Caren. I want to tell you a little bit about Sharon. Sharon and I met quite a few years ago at a live event, I think at the end of October 2017. We were both at the Dream Builder live event with Mary Morrissey. And, we are dream builders. That's what we do. And the way we do it is by brave new thinking. That's Mary's motto, but we all live by that. And then the next time I met Sharon was in Israel. We went on a pilgrimage in 2019, and we both were on the pilgrimage. So that was so cool. And we got to really know one another a little more there. And then the other thing we have in common is California. Now, Sharon is a native Californian. And you don't meet, if you're in California, you don't meet a lot of native Californians. There's usually from somewhere else. Or I was from somewhere else. So I want you to meet Sharon, my life coach for the soul. Say hi, Sharon, to our guest.
I'm so happy and grateful to be here with you today. And yes, I'm Sharon Caren, spiritual intuitive speaker and coach. And I was born in Berkeley, California. And I live in Pacifica on the coast with my husband, Dave, who's a musician, and our little dog, Charlie, 5-pound Chihuahua. That's our son.
Wonderful. Now, Sharon, how long have you been doing this? And can you give us a little bit of your background? Let's start there, okay?
Yes, I would love to. I found this particular Akashic field work about 20 years ago. And my whole life, basically, I've been an explorer, a searcher. When I was little, I used to go to church with my friends. I would go to all the churches, all the denominations, and I always loved being in there. It would feed my soul, even when I was little. My mom and dad, my dad was Jewish, and happy Hanukkah. My dad was Jewish and my mother was Lutheran. They didn't get along. And they certainly didn't get along religiously, but that didn't stop me. So, and also my dad left us when I was 11. But my mom, I didn't know it until after she passed, but she used to read tarot cards when she was a little girl with a deck of cards. So I guess it was sort of in our family. I didn't even really realize it at the time. But being a searcher, I stepped with awareness into my spiritual work in about 1991, when I actually lived in San Francisco for a while. And I just opened up this whole new world for me. I started reading tarot cards. I started using a pendulum. And it was just like a kid in a candy store. and then, so I did a lot of those things. I took psychic classes, which I loved, and I was good at it, but I knew it wasn't my work until actually when my mother passed. I could feel her heavy in my space, and I knew that something wasn't right. I had met this woman who had told me about the Akashic readings, and I called her, and because I hadn't had a reading yet, I called her and I said, my mom passed, something's not right. Can you do my reading? And she said, yes, right away. She did my reading. We found my mother. She was earthbound. When she was so afraid to die that she didn't go to the light. And let that just be an FYI for all of us, that it's not fear-based. We're going to go home, and that's the beautiful part of it. And only my mother was afraid, so she was stuck in between. Wow. And anytime someone is in a place that they don't belong, that's hell.
Wow, I could imagine, yes.
So the beauty of it was we found her, the woman that did my reading found her around me because I could feel her.
Mhm.
And we called in the third order escort to escort her to the astral plane justly earned. And after that reading, and basically she told me all the things that I already knew, only I didn't have language.
Right.
Like I couldn't explain it to somebody, but she explained it to me. So that's what I get to do, with people now, is just to kind of connect the dots.
Right.
So as soon as I had that reading, I said to her before I got off the phone, I want to learn how to do this. And right then, is over 20 years ago now, I've been doing the work because it had totally changed my life, rocked my world. And I had been searching for a long time up until that point. And it's the Akashic field work. It's Melchizedek. It's in the non-physical, which is in the Bible.
I was going to ask you about the word Akashic. I mean,
Yeah.
spelled Akashic, right? I put it in the notes
Yes.
because can you tell us a little bit about the origin of that word or what that word means?
Yes. So Sanskrit word for is Akasha.
Okay.
And Akasha stands for the sky, the ethers. It's, like just in heaven or whatever. That's what the Akasha word means. And then back in the 20s and 40s, we had the sleeping prophet, which was Edgar Cayce.
Okay.
And he read the records in a sleep state. So he actually laid on a couch and he went into a sleep state to read the records. And he's the one that actually coined the phrase Akashic records and brought it into the public.
Okay.
Akashic records, or they call it the Book of Life in the Bible. So this stuff has been around forever, and we just haven't really understood the dynamics of it. It's really universal spirituality.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to forgive my questions, but when when you said and I take notes, and that's what I'm doing when I'm looking down. You said we called in the escorts. I mean, I'm going, what?
Well, okay, good question. Yes. So in this work that I do for people, so when I do a reading and clearing, this is what I'm doing. I'm not a mind reader. I don't read crystal balls. This work is a system, and it's quantum physics. Everything in the universe is a system. So I'm not just reading psychically. What I'm doing is I'm actually following a protocol, which is a system. And that's why I believe it's so important and it works so well. So I don't do any of this myself. I'm the conduit. I'm like a crystal. Okay. And I have the system, and then I ask questions. So I ask 3 pages of questions, which I think maybe, Lucy, if you remember when I did your reading.
Yes, I do remember.
There's a lot of information there.
Yeah.
And I give it to people in an hour, and it's all the information that your soul wants you to know right now, which is a lot. Mm-hmm. And then I found sometimes that's how I began my coaching, because people couldn't get all that information in an hour. Right. Or if you could even sort of comprehend it, you couldn't live from it or digest it.
Right.
So that's how my coaching business was formed, is to take people through at least 8 or 16 weeks of how to put on this information and live from the infinite soul that you are. And that's what's so amazing with the work. So it's blessing work. Well, going back to Melchizedek priesthood is in the non-physical. Okay. And it's said that Melchizedek the Melchizedek priesthood order is the one when we are spirits and we come into a physical body in the womb between 7 and 9 months, that Melchizedek is the one that breathes the first breath of life into our hearts.
Wow.
So this is all part of the system. And that's what I do is what I'm doing really is I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, but I'm giving you language to understand because, we have the mental body and that's how we learn. However, when things are new, it takes a little while. So I don't know. Do you have any comments? Do you remember?
Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, I was so overwhelmed with that reading. And there's so much information that, and at least thank God you give us a tape or whatever you call it, an MP3 or an MP4.
Yes.
Thank God one can go over it. But, I do believe that one, after the reading, has to follow a course of discipline to make that effective in my life. It's on my computer. A lot of people would put it in a drawer, but it's almost a necessary thing to follow that up with a course, because if you're going to make it effective in your life, you got to do something about it. It's like implementation,
Total an action step. Nothing happens without an action step.
That's right.
And that really is absolutely the truth, because my zone of genius and my purpose is this work, and I knew it as soon as I had my first reading. Right. And what I do is I serve my clients' connection with the infinite. So that's what I do for you. So why would somebody want to do this work? Well, it's because we want to be the best version of ourselves. Right. We're human beings. We're spirits having a human experience, and we're here in this life being human. And when we can connect to all of that information on a soul level, that takes this life and our transformation and evolution of this life into the next level.
Right. You must be finding that this time now is a good time because people are connecting. I mean, we've heard that phrase so many times, that we're human beings having a spirit. We're not human beings we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
You got to think about what you're saying when you're saying that. So and we believe it. For me, there's a knowing inside of me that knows that that's really true. And
you know who that knowing is? And good noticing, Lucy, because the knowing is the connection to the infinite, your infinite side of yourself.
Right.
We have an etheric body that has all the chakras. That's the electrical system that connects with our physical body, that is our nervous system. So that's how those two bodies connect. And so the higher our frequency, the more life we have. And that is the spirit body. That's the infinite side of yourself. So when we notice what we're noticing and we hear, it's like, okay, I don't know why I have to do this, but I have to do this. So I have this knowing and good listening, because what you're doing is you're listening to that infinite part of yourself that's in the spirit world that's saying, Lucy, there's more. There's more. It's not just this body in this lifetime. Yeah.
But, Sharon, I've been doing a lot of personal development, and of course, Mary Morrissey talks about this in quite a bit. And so, what about the person who thinks this is all woo-woo? I mean,
Well, that's just, we have different soul ages. All of our souls didn't spark at one time.
Right.
So there's older souls there's newer souls, and everyone is having their own unique experience, even though everything and everyone is connected in the unified field. Everything that is anything and all of us, we are all connected in the unified field. However, we didn't all spark at the same time. So that's, a lot of times that's the difference. So a newer soul is trying to do the best they can. Everyone's always doing the best that they can at any given moment. And that is the infinite intelligence.
Right.
So those of us that really understand, and Mary Morrissey talks a lot about that, and that it's wonderful to start to get people in a bit of a different mindset, understanding that it's not good and bad. It is what it is. It is what it is, and we don't know. We can only, and why would we want a reading? Well, to find out what our soul purpose is, to find out what our path, unique path is. Because even though we're all connected, we're all unique.
Right.
There's not another Lucy, and there's not another Sharon, not in this life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the snowflakes, we're
Totally.
all unique. So this is so interesting. Did you have to go to a school to learn all this? And I mean, did you have to learn about the chakras, and then did you have to, how did your training go? I mean,
I'm really happy that you asked me that, because I remember I told you, like, I had spiritual knowings from the time I was a little girl, and I just went to every church I got all the information I could possibly find, always, even astrology, you name it. I did it all.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can tell you is, when I had my first reading, so I knew about chakras, I knew about archangels, I knew about all these things, and they were all separate.
Right.
And nothing ever seemed to interact.
Right.
Well, what I'm telling you is when, as soon as she talked to me about my reading, it was like it connected all of the dots.
Okay.
All of the dots. Because the chakras are in the spirit body. We have a physical body. It's connected. Then it's in our nervous system. We also have the emotional body, and we have the mental body. Mm-hmm. And so we're here to do 4 bodies, which is a big order. It's not an easy life.
That's why it's so complicated.
And it wasn't meant to be easy, because we all chose to be here to evolve quicker. Earth is the hard place. It's where the rubber meets the road. And we come in and sometimes we go, oh gosh, what could I have been thinking?
I know.
It's so crazy. But my training, I actually have the Akashic Training certification, because it is a system.
Okay.
So the woman that I worked with, she taught me over sessions, and I have written a whole binder with everything that I've learned, everything that I know. So in that certification program, I lead people through it, step by step, because all the things that you might have heard of before are comprehensive, and it shows how everything's connected, which is a system, which is quantum physics. And that's what we're doing here.
Well, yes, and it's pretty popular now. So it's not like it's a foreign word, quantum physics.
I know, back in the day.
Chopra,
Yeah, thank goodness.
20 years ago or 25 years, I don't know. I was in California when I heard him the first time talk about quantum physics, and I was just like, oh my God.
Me too. Were you in San Francisco? I saw him in San Francisco in that hotel.
In San Francisco. I saw him, I think it may have been Marin County where I saw him, but he was very popular. Used to come to Northern California all the time. It was easy for him because he lives in Southern California.
Deepak Chopra is living his soul destiny contract. People like Deepak, Wayne Dyer, Oprah Winfrey, that when we do readings, we actually find out if you have a soul destiny contract and if you've come to fulfill it in this lifetime. So Deepak Chopra is Definitely. He's changed millions of people's lives, and that's what a soul destiny contract is. And then we all can have them. They may not be millions of people. It may be a couple hundred people or 1,000 people. That's still a lot.
Right. So what about the person that doesn't have this, who comes into this world and doesn't have this contract that you talk about? Is that a possibility? I mean, do they come in and die and they leave? Is that what happens?
Okay. So not every people do wonderful things because, like I said, we all are unique beings.
Right.
And we all have brought gifts. We all have brought gifts to share. It doesn't mean that you have to have a soul destiny contract to change people's lives. No. But that just happens to be when you see something like Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, and Oprah, you know they're on track and they are doing it because that's what they're fulfilling. But we all come in to share our unique gifts. Now, I know for you, well, your soul group, I don't know if you want me to say the name or.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. No, use me. It's good because it reminds me also about the thing that I've forgotten.
Okay, well, this is a good review. Okay. So your soul group, and you're an older soul. Those of us that have come from other places to be on Earth are like the helpers and the teachers in a physical body. Right. But we're here right now because our Earth is in a time of huge change. These are changes that have to be made. We're crowning the age of Aquarius. Those of us from the 70s, we've been planning this for a very long time. We never thought it would look like a virus, but it doesn't matter because this is what's happening. So we can trust that there's infinite intelligence. And this is very important. So when your soul sparked from, you're a Polarian.
I remember asking you, what is a Polarian?
So Polarian is you've come to help reinstate the original design for the planet Earth, and that's to reinstate unity and diversity. Okay. Also, you are really focused on integrating body, mind, and spirit. Mm-hmm. And also, you prefer working in a round table.
I do. I prefer eating at a round table.
Totally. Yes. So these are just some characteristics of a Polarian soul. And so when I tell you that, it's not like I'm telling you something other than what it is.
It is, right.
Totally. And then, of course, you have come in with, so remember I said it's a system, so we have our 7 chakras. Mm-hmm. And then we have the 7 archangels loyal to Creator. So like I said, this is blessing work. I don't do any of this work myself. I call in the Melchizedek priest order. I call in the archangels loyal to Creator. I call in the Creator of all beings, the Great White Brotherhood, the House of the Goddess, the House of Jesus, the House of Mary. All of the non-physical beings, they have the power. I'm just looking to see what's there that's not supposed to be there, or see what's supposed to be there and reinstating it. Just taking your soul back to its original state. That's the most important thing with this work. So your 2 specialties, so I kind of liken it to soul college. Mm-hmm. So you have
soul college.
Yeah, soul college. So in soul college, you actually your primary realm is that of Archangel Michael. Mm-hmm. And Archangel Michael is the archangel of truth and protection, and also spiritual warriors.
Yeah.
And so you're very, sometimes you can be very cut and dry.
Yes.
and it's a strength. And it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. And so a primary realm just means that's who you are all the time. In other words, if you're in the spirit world, if you're in a body, that's your primary realm. It's like the soul major.
Yeah.
And so the soul minor that you've actually come in to work with in this particular lifetime is Archangel Zophiel. Oh, so Archangel Michael is the 6th chakra, is the brow chakra. So see, it's not something different. It's all connected. So in the brow chakra, that's where you have clear vision, clear seeing, visionary. You can sometimes have lucid dreams. You can know things that you don't know how you know, but you just know them and you trust them, just like you said. And that's one of your very unique gifts. That you're a Michaelite from this and connected to the 6th chakra energy.
Interesting.
So your secondary realm is that of Archangel Zophiel, and that is the 3rd chakra. And the 3rd chakra is the I am. That's when as a human, we really, because the first 3 chakras are the earth chakras. They're the grounding chakras, and those are the physical chakras. So in that 3rd chakra energy, you stand up and say, I am. That I am that I am.
I am that I am, right.
Yes. And so you really hold that, hold that space, and that, yes, I am here, and I've been here, and I've come to do these things, and it's really important to me. And that is also the chakra and the archangel realm of balance and order.
And I'm a Libra, so that fits.
And you're a Libra, and you're a Polarian. So you got that stuff. You got that stuff down. So that's just the beauty. It's not like you don't already know, but isn't it a huge affirmation to hear it?
Yes, it absolutely is. Yeah, I understand that you will only work with a person if you do a reading to see if it's a good fit, right? Is that right?
Yes, and yeah, thank you for asking. And the reason is because I have to know who I'm working with. And there's probably maybe things going on for that person that in order for us to have success working together, that they have to understand who they are as a soul, as well as maybe they've got energy around them that doesn't belong to them, that is hard for them to work with, and then it wouldn't help me work with them. So when we understand who we're working with together, each of us, and I know that we went through that piece with you, and when I explained the things that were energy that was not yours, that were hindering you, and then we do the Melchizedek blessing, and then all of that gets removed. We just reinstate your soul back to your original being on a soul level. And so that reading and clearing is the introductory, because we really can't do much together other than education, or, and of course I do free classes and, to get education. But if you really want to step into your power and step into the work, this is the entry. Yeah, the entry level.
So, okay. So I took the, I took the entry level. So what would be next for a person like me? I mean, what would be the suggestion from you? Okay.
Because you're asking such great questions. The inquiring minds want to know.
Remember that.
Yeah. So it would be either the 8-week spiritual deep dive, which is 8 weeks of going through each step and each piece of your reading and clearing, so that you can not only understand it, but embody it. I give proven tools to use. in order for that to happen. So I'm your coach. I provide the support for you to learn in that safe space, in the sacred space. I've got a candle right now that's lit, and we always call in all of the angels and the helpers, the creator source, to be with us, because it's all sacred work.
Okay. So it's so interesting. It's like a different world. It is a different world.
Well, it's another dimension. We're of this world, and that's in another dimension. So we have one foot right now when we're talking.
Right.
We each have one foot in the other dimension.
Right. And that's why. And yeah, it's just amazing. So in this 8-week course, we would meet once a week, or how would that be? How would that look like?
It's once a week. I recommend once a week because, and sometimes actually a lot of my clients go for at least like 16 weeks.
Okay.
If they want. Okay. So I also do, I also do our
consultation
coaching calls. It's okay if you just have a couple of questions, but if you want to really digest this and actually live your best life in this time on earth, in this physical body, it takes more time than that. It takes like at least 60, 90 days to create a new habit.
Right, it does. In business also. So we know
totally. And it's not different.
No, it's not.
No, because we're actually noticing what we're noticing.
Right.
We're actually doing deep breathing so that if we feel contracted, that means our energetic frequency is low. We want to notice what we're noticing with the emotional body, and then we want to go, what would I love? What would I love? What would I love? And be expansive or go into gratitude, because these are the tools that we work with so that our energetic level is going to be high, because that's what's going to serve us. Our chakras, and also I do a lot of chakra work in this spiritual coaching, so that people that their chakras aren't 100% open, they're also working at a bit of a disadvantage. And so then we work energetically with those chakras, and then they have ways to work with them. We do meditations, and then like I said, notice what you're noticing, getting the energy level up. And so those are the practices that we get into place so that people can really embrace who you are as a soul in this physical body, and that's how we live our best life.
Right. I should imagine, because you're in touch with everything then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sharon, so you have the reading, you have this 8-week course. I think the life coaching is what you do with all of these, right?
Actually, so I'm a spiritual coach.
Okay.
And I do integrate a lot. I do integrate dream building, visioning, because that is one of the key essences of how to stay in a higher energetic vibration. When we all have situations and circumstances, we have days where our energy, we're like, okay, and because we're human.
Right.
We're human, and so we're going to have, our energy is going to fluctuate. However, the higher we can maintain that energetic frequency is going to give us more life. See,
practice.
It is a practice. It is a practice. And when we have these tools, and like I said, one of the best tools is the vision, because that's the roadmap to the life that we would love living. So in other words, yes, we're a spirit. We're also here in a physical body to live and to be in this body. We actually, through the 7 chakras in this physical body with the archangel realms, we are actually bringing through the essence of creator source through each of the 7 chakras.
Okay.
So again, it's connected. It's not something different.
Right. Okay. And also you do essential oils. I think you work with. How do you work these oils with?
I do. The reason I've got some abundance today, reason
I love abundance.
I'm
wide open to the abundance.
Totally.
Thank you.
So everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked a lot about that and how important it is for the energetic our energetic frequency in our body connected to our soul has to be up above the 200 line. And that would be on the map of the scale of consciousness. And I don't know if you've ever heard of David R. Hawkins.
Yes, I have, of course.
Well, in his book, Power versus Force, I use that map. So get out your book and look at that map. The 200 line is everything above 200 is in the light, and what's 199 and below is a low energy, is not in the light.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yes.
Other people have used that too, yes.
It's a very important tool, and I use that all the time. Great way for, again, another tool for our reminder to actually, okay, where am I? You know, I'm feeling a little down. Well, maybe you're just tired, and maybe it's not energetic, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
And I have used, for as long as I've been doing this work for 20 years, I have also used essential oils because it's a touchstone. We're here in a physical, we're spiritual beings having a human experience in this earth suit. So we need touchstones. So like for the essential oil of abundance here, I drop a drop or two in my left palm, and then I go around in a circle like so, like this. And then I do prayer hands. Essential oils, they're the blood of the plant, and they resonate when they're pure oils. They resonate very, very high. The plants and the animals are here to support us in this physical body. And the beauty of it is that when we put the oils on, or if I have a diffuser going, a lot of times in my hands, I'll rub it on my brain stem in the back. I put them on my feet in the morning when I wake up. And this is a reminder because we can feel the energy moving through our body. Right. So if we feel a little down, this morning I put on a lot of oils. I had a busy day yesterday. So
you have to take care of yourself today, right?
Yeah. So I put on all the oils, and I love them, and I just can't tell you, how they have supported me with this work in the last 20 years.
Sharon, when it comes to essential oils, we know it's a big, big business. How do you know where to get the true essential oil? I mean, I remember when I went on the pilgrimage with Mary, we went to a place where we were able to buy, the true essential oil. And then I found out from somebody that they weren't really the true essential oil. So I was very confused, although I still have it and I love them,
Yes, you can do a sniff test. So the reason that I use Young Living essential oils is because it's seed to seal. It's the only essential oil company that's on the market that I know. We have farms. Okay. The seed is planted. The soil is tilled, totally organic. The seed is planted. It's harvested, and there's a science to when is the top frequency of that plant. It has to be harvested at just the exact time. Right. And then when that happens, that plant material is taken to an ancient distillation process. It's the old
wine.
Yes, the old steam distiller.
Yeah.
Back in the way back in Egypt and in biblical times, we can, and when you're part of the company, you can go to any farm, Young Living farm around the world. We have farms in Israel that just opened up. So we'll have to, Lucy, we'll have to go.
I'd love to. So where did this company Young Living originate? In the United States?
Yes. Actually, it originated in the company as still is in Utah.
In Utah.
In Salt Lake, and that's where the first farms were, in Idaho and also in Utah. And then in Canada, we have the black spruce oil from Canada. So we have partner farms all around the world because these certain plants have to be planted in the right atmosphere. And you can smell the difference. I tell people, you can smell the difference. You can feel the difference. I've had people tell me, oh, I can't use those oils. They're too strong. Well, it's the plant. It's like saying, I don't want to eat broccoli raw because it doesn't taste good. Well, that is what it is.
Yeah, right.
And you can't make it to be something else unless you put an additive, right?
So is this Young Living, can you buy it over the counter, or is it done through a distributorship? Or
Gary Young set it up as a multi-level marketing business because people don't know what to do with oils.
Right. They need some kind of education.
That's why I'm an essential oil educator.
Okay.
So each person, when we share our oils with someone, like if you wanted to, and then I would be your essential oil educator for the rest of your life and the rest of my life when it comes to oil. So I would take care of you and I would help you to learn how to use them properly and how it actually is raising our energetic frequency when we're using it. That's the reason to do it. I want to mention, when our energetic frequency isn't high, our physical body is supposed to live with ease.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we breathe. That's why we use oils. That's why we eat healthy. That's why we do spiritual work. That's why we do all of these things. Right. So that our physical body will live with ease. If we're not doing the things that we need to do for the physical body to live with ease, sometimes when a person has a lot of anxiety and fear, it takes the energetic level down. Right. This is what creates dis-ease in the body.
Right.
That's how crucial it is. And if this body dies, it's the home for our soul. And so then our soul has to go back and come back and do it over.
Oh, yeah, and that's no fun.
No, we want to get all we can get in this home.
I read somewhere in your bio or something that you have a quote that says, "Find out how to raise your frequency and change your life in 5 minutes." Is that really possible?
Yeah. Change your frequency, or raise your frequency, change your life.
Change your life. Did I not say it right? Okay.
No, you did a really good job. Yes, yes.
And I thought, I'm going to ask her about that.
Absolutely. So we can do it right now. So what we're going to do, and I mentioned it before, but if we have time, just do it right now. Okay. So what we do is, if you're sitting comfortably in your chair, and you're sitting like on your sits bones and kind of the tailbone. So we're going to breathe in slowly through our nose, blow out like you're blowing through a straw. Again. You'll find your own rhythm. Now I want you to breathe in, and I want you to drop down into your tailbone. That's our first chakra. That's our root chakra. That's our foundation. That is the safety place. That is the place with a strong foundation that keeps our physical body safe. Now I want you to breathe in and let that breath go all the way down into your thighs from your root chakra. The root chakra is red. This energy is going to go down past the root chakra, through your thighs, down past your knees, down into your calves, all the way down into your ankles. And you can feel the bottom of your feet on the ground, on the floor, wherever you are. And you might start to feel a tingle in the bottom of your feet. This is our earth connection. This is our connection to Gaia, the Mother Earth. We are safe. If ever you feel like you're not safe, immediately you just breathe in, just as we're doing. It's not something different. If you have an essential oil, you can also put that on. If you don't, you always have your breath with you. You'll always have your breath with you. So you never have to worry about not having what you need. It's just noticing what we're noticing and remembering. So I call this mantra breathe, ground, and remember. We're breathing, going down into the root, down the thighs, knees, calves, feet. Feel your feet tingling on the earth mother saying hello to Gaia. Then you can bring that energy all the way back up, past the knees, into the thighs, and into the root chakra again. And just stay there for a while until you really feel grounded and protected. Grounded and protected. We are safe. There's one thing that's going on. It's the infinite intelligence. And we are here now, and we are safe.
Wow.
You can stay with that. What's happening with a lot of people right now in this challenging time, which it is for all of us. And we lean into that, and we find tools, and we find other ways of doing things, like doing everything on Zoom and, reaching everybody all over the world, which is really cool. And, we're at home, which is good.
We reinvent ourselves. We have to.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's, I got to step into this work full time because of the virus. And it's like, thank you, God.
It changed your
Totally. Yeah, I was doing the work before, but not full time. And then I switched over because I was doing body work full time. And I had been visioning for this to be my full time.
Wow.
And so in March, that's exactly what happened. So we are blessed. There is infinite intelligence. Mm-hmm. So I want all of you, out there to remember, breathe, ground, and remember, because we are safe. We can find our own safety. Mm-hmm. That's what the first chakra does. It's the color red. It's safety. It's a grounding to the earth. And when people start feeling anxious and afraid, they've just lost that connection. Right. And so we can help them. We can just help them by offering that tool.
Great. Sharon, if anybody wanted to contact you, wanted to perhaps get a reading, find out about your courses, do you have a website? Do you have, how would they go about doing that?
Yes. So it's simple. It's SharonCaren.com.
Okay.
And my email is just Sharon@SharonCaren.com.
That's nice and easy. Good.
Yes. And my cell number, text and cell, is 650-922-7951. I also have my Facebook page, Sharon's Unique Spirit, on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, all the social media.
Okay. Well, I think what I'm going to do is, after we finish with the interview, is in the comment below, I'll put all that information for our guests, for our listeners, so that they contact you if they want to. Is there anything that you would like to say to our listeners that perhaps, some important thing that I missed here?
You're really good at this, Lucy, and I am happy and grateful to be with you today. You do a great job, seriously. There is one thing that I would love to add, and that is on December 30th, so the night before New Year's, I am going to have a Zoom meeting call for all of your listeners.
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
That wants to come and be with me for that hour to ask any and all questions, get clarification on anything that I said. I would love, love, love to support your wonderful Facebook group and the people that follow you.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
And so what time is that going to be?
It's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Pacific time, okay.
And it will go for an hour.
Okay. And so what I will do is put it in as an announcement, a few days before, and perhaps I'll have the link by then.
Oh, I can give you the link.
Well, you know what we can do? Hey, let's do it this way. Why don't I let you in the comments put all that information and also the invitation to the guests and with the link and so
okay
mediator here. It's just
yes.
You do it. Get all that information for.
Yes, it's also posted on my website, SharonCaren.com, under events. Okay. And it will be on the 30th isn't on social media yet, but it will be in a couple of days. So, if you look around, you will see it, but I will put it here because I want you to have it. And I want to I would love, love, love to be with, all the people that love and support you, and how I could love and support you with anything that you need, because I just really enjoyed being with you today, and I missed you since Israel.
I know we had such a great time in Israel. It's like, and of course we all thought we were going somewhere this year, but no pilgrimage this year.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it was in February.
Well, it's in February, yeah.
February of 2020, and then we came home and to a lockdown.
I know, and everybody that I knew thought that maybe I brought it home with
no.
Because I didn't even know about it until I got here. So
exactly.
So that is so great. Well, Sharon, thank you so much. You're very generous to do this Zoom call with my guests. I thank you so much for your generosity, your graciousness, your time for being here, and there may be some questions, but if there are questions, I'll send them to you, and we can answer them in a replay or whatever.
Absolutely, I would love that.
And they can also call you on the telephone, because your telephone call would be there too.
Absolutely. So I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm here to support anybody, and particularly that's having a difficult time, because there's answers and it's not difficult. So I would love that. And thank you again.
Thank you
so much for having me, Lucy. I love you, and I love all of you out there. And thank you so much.
Thank you for your
sacred time together,
for your presence. So, listeners, I just want to remind you that if you have a story and you want to be interviewed, this is the place to do it. Just message me and we can make that happen. And so we will bid Sharon goodbye, and we will see you next week. Ciao.